The Conjuring. It's basically Insidious. It's basically La Llorona
right.
or whatever the fuck.
Shit happens and you just took it. And you know this is not normal. And like, what? Where's the emotion in this? Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Mission Movie Reviews. Real talk, I'm Barry Gaines.
I'm Justin Green.
And today, we're going to have a non-spoiler review of Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Say something. Say something.
Don't worry, Grandma. It's fun to be dead.
Jay, what do you think about this movie, man?
Man. So, I didn't care for the movie, right? I thought the movie fell flat. I felt like the characters were one note. There was elements in the movie where they could have developed a lot more of an emotional draw or connection to the characters. You could have even put characters like the mom and the dad could have even had moments, a little bit more moments. There was like a slight sliver of it, but they could have had more moments of maybe bickering back and forth as to how they're going to handle the situation. Maybe, you know, pointing blame. Because let me tell you, if something in your life happens, like losing a child, maybe they're not going to mention it, but there's always going to be, I would imagine, a level of thought of, did you do something wrong? Did you miss something you could have done? Right? So give me some of that. You know what I mean? And then like once they get their daughter back, like, okay, how are we going to take care of this situation? You know, pointing the finger or whatever. So there was really no good weight to the characters. I didn't even like the family. I felt like the dad didn't even really want to be a part of that family. I felt like he had a family across town, actually. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like looking for the next moment to go see them. You know, like this dude. I was like, where have I seen this guy before? He's from like Transformers, one of them movies with
just say
Mark
Jack
Wahlberg.
Rayner.
Yeah. He's got like, you know, very low acting range. His eyes are just big the whole fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I just felt like they introduced a professor in this movie, helping him kind of understand maybe some of the text that he's like pulling off of her skin. That guy's like in and out like a robbery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they have a whole lot of threads and they go nowhere. But this movie thrived on grotesque nastiness, which I am a fan of if done well and serves a story, but it was just there to be there. And then oh my God, the sound design was terrific. The musical notes of eeriness were terrific, but they should have been in an actual scary movie. This movie did not deserve that sound design. Every moment you can open the refrigerator, dun dun dun. Like it's like, what are we doing here? And then, I'm gonna try not to spoil this motherfucker, but like, it's not that good. But there's some lunacy that jumps off at a wake, at a funeral scene that is bonkers. And I'm like, Ugh.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I feel the same way. What's to the point was I really was wanting to like this film. To me, it started pretty decent. Like I was in it for about maybe a half hour. I was in. I was like, okay, what's up? Whatever. Like you said, the guy Jack Rayner, the actor anyway, playing Charlie Cannon, you know, the father, you know, he was like the guy, you know, he was in the forefront. He was the one saying, okay, listen, it's my bad. This happened. I'm trying to get my daughter all this, right? You had his wife, what's her name who played the wife? I think it's May Calamay. I should probably say her name wrong. But I forget who she is.
It's
but
like
anyway.
Costa something.
Oh, Leah Costa. Yeah, Leah Costa, right. Yeah, playing Larissa Cannon. Anyway, so I don't know. She just felt like, I don't know, she was just there. Like, the emotion in this film to me was at a minimal. At first, they had good emotional, like a presence, meaning like the family felt like, okay, they really cared. You know, you felt as an audience member, oh no, you know, this little girl's missing. And they had a great opportunity to make this movie one of those, a girl is missing, a child is missing, I need to find her. And then it turns into a supernatural moment. But they had that moment, and you really wanted them to say, hey, listen, we're going to give you that feel, but we're gonna go to a supernatural moment, of course, you know, down the line. But this is a missing child movie, and it did not take that at all. They didn't go for that as much. And then, like you said, later on, I know like I said, we try not to spoil so much, but there are moments in this film, especially toward the end, where emotion was taken out. Like things didn't make any sense. I'm like, bro, there was things happening in front of the father, and he's just looking, like you said, his big eyes just looking, and like that's you. And then he just said, "Oh, okay, I gotta do something else," and he just turns. I'm like, "Oh, bro, you need to answer that." you need to reflect on this. This is not normal, And then everyone is just taking it. Okay, guys, listen. This is not a spoiler review, but I'll tell you this. We're not gonna tell you what happens, but I'm telling you this. Toward like the middle and the end, middle to like the second act to the third act, emotion was just all over the place. People just took shit. Like shit happens and you just took it. And this is not normal. And like, where's the emotion in this? And then, like you said, the sound design was great, but it did not match what we were seeing and the emotion because it wasn't really scary. You had like one jump scare. Probably something like that, right? The grotesque parts, yes, I'm a fan of that too, Jay. So I'm here with you. But at the same time, with number one, I give him credit on this. Sound design, yes, was great. Makeup was great. Effects was great. I think cinematography was done pretty decent. I liked all of that. The aesthetic was like, okay, we're there. Storyline, acting-wise, rhythm, pace, all of that was like, yo, what are y'all doing? It's almost it reminded me of like you working out in the gym. And then you're really strong in the beginning and your muscles start to get weak, but you keep with the same weight. So you start going slower, you start hurting yourself, everything start breaking down, you don't start feeling good, you're hurting yourself. That's what the movie feels like. It was strong muscle. And they didn't adjust as they went through the storyline. It just got weak. They start hurting themselves. And next thing you know, we come out the theater like, oh, what the hell are you doing? And Lee Cronin, I'm over here thinking like, yo, who's Lee Cronin, yo? He must be the man. It's Lee Cronin's, the mummy. I'm like, okay, who's this cat? Yeah, I'm like, Lee Cronin. I'm like, I didn't even know who Lee Cronin was. I'm like, okay, I'm looking around. I'm like, why is his name on there? I'm like, it's not like it's Steven Spielberg's The Mummy. Like, did he really do anything that great? I'm looking at his resume. I'm like, oh, okay, no. So, anyway, that's my take on it. Yeah. I just thought that they could have done much better. So.
Yeah, I think like the other thing that I had an issue with was when you're looking at a mummy movie, like I'm not gonna front and act like I've seen the old school original, black and white mummy movie. But I thought that what Lee Wanell did with The Invisible Man, that was creative.
That was very good.
That was fun. That was entertaining. It made, again, a suit like that is obviously make-believe, but it made sense. He put it in our world. And I remember seeing that movie. It didn't get enough love just because I think it came out like right at the beginning of the pandemic. But I remember seeing that with a couple of my homies, and there's a lot of scenes in there where you're like, oh, shit. Like, it didn't telegraph it. This movie telegraphs, like, effing everything, and then it just kind of gives you scenes and scenarios that you think would be cool, but doesn't develop them very well. The concept, I'll just say this, and this is not a big spoiler, they don't even develop it, so whatever, who cares? But the concept of why she was kidnapped and what was done to her to put her in this position, that was really cool. That concept was really interesting and really cool and could have been developed. This movie is like 2 hours and 14 minutes or some shit. And
too long.
And you don't develop anything? Like, that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, they missed out on that. And I'll also say that, like, again, tracking back, when you look at, like I said in my review, that the gold standard is still Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. And the reason why to me that's the gold standard is I said just because, like, it's entertaining, it's adventurous, it's fun, it's all those things. But Imhotep, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of the dude that was the mummy. He was already a bad guy. He was already a negative dude. So it's like, if you put this chick in as the mummy and you're telling us, okay, yo, this little 8-year-old girl or however how old she is kidnapped, she's gonna become a mummy. Well, why is she bad? Oh, she's bad because she's possessed. Oh, so this is not a mummy movie then. It's a possession movie.
Right.
And this is produced by James Wan's Atomic Monster. So it's basically The Conjuring. It's basically Insidious. It's basically La Llorona or whatever the fuck. All those other Conjuring movies. Like, this movie so badly wants to be in the Conjuring universe. And I would not doubt if this movie did well enough that they would somehow put this in the Conjuring universe because, again, you know, she's possessed and she's throwing up the demon bile and all that BS. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think the whole concept of why and how she became a mummy, like the whole concept that you're saying, to me, I think we've seen that before. And if they show it again, it's kind of like when I found out how, you know, why and everything else, it was just almost like a hand waving. Like, okay, yeah, we're just going to do this. This is how it happens. And now let's move on and show you some really cool and gross stuff and everything like that. And it did, like you said, there was nothing developed like, okay, all right, that's cool, but we've seen that before. That's like, it's a nugget taken from the Mummy. Like you said, Brendan Fraser's Mummy. There's a nugget in there. We're not going to tell you what it is, guys, but it's a nugget in there. And I'm like, oh, we've seen this kind of before. And now you're making this whole concept, the effects that go along with this, kind of cheesy. And
you know
now I'm not
better?
even into it as much. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what would have been better? Is if Henry from The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin's Henry from The Good Son,
Yeah.
if he was killed, but then we didn't know that he had a friend that was into like voodoo and mystic arts and shit like that, and then they mummified him, and then he came back and tried to kill a family. That would make more sense.
Yeah, that's
That would make more sense.
Right, you can see that.
You know what I'm saying? This cute little girl. You know what I'm saying? She's a good person. Like, why is she mad right now? You know what I mean?
Why she's so angry? Yeah, exactly.
Yo,
But you
and then
see, like, you said it's a possession movie almost in a way. So
It was basically a possession movie. And then also at the same time, the hospital, the logic of the hospital letting her leave like that. Like,
yes. Thank you for reminding. Yes, thank you.
imagine,
Thank you.
you know, there's a horrific earthquake and someone's been mangled and beat up by the building falling on them. They've been trapped for like 4 days. They're malnourished, all that nastiness, right? And then they bring them into the hospital. They say, you know what? Just take 2 of these Tylenol, call us in the morning. You'll be all right. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Go get some rest and stuff like that. I mean, especially your mom give you some Robitussin. Some Tussin will work.
Yeah.
You know, you're right. Because I was like, hold on, whoa. This woman, this child is traumatized. Go home and just feed her soup and hang. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? You're right. I almost forgot. That's so true. It was so many other things wrong with it. I just forgot about it. That's so true.
And check this out. Oh, man, I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say that there's things that the mom and the dad, as they're trying to clean up their daughter, because the hospital surely didn't do it, there's things that they're finding on their daughter that is like clues and things like that they're going to look into. They don't call the hospital and say, hey, we just figured, we saw this on her skin. Is this normal? Did y'all see this? They don't call the authorities. They don't really do their due diligence to figure out like what's going on. So it's just like, these things continue to pull you out of the movie, along with the sound design that just doesn't match, along with the grotesqueness that's not earned. Like, there's just too much in this film to be like, man. And it sucks because the elements are there, they're just not developed very well. So,
No, you're right.
I definitely can't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it, guys, either. So anyone who wants to see it, you see it for yourself. Let us know what you think, and definitely see it in the theaters. It is worth seeing in the theaters because it is, you know, it's cinematically is very nice looking, but storyline, rhythm, pace, not really all there. And Justin and I just cannot recommend to see this, you know, at any time. But if you do, see it for yourself. See if you like it. See if it's your thing. To me, no emotion involved. It looked like a 16-year-old kid wrote the script and said, yo, I got a lot of money. I want to do some cool stuff. And everyone's like, okay. And there's no emotion, nothing. So that's our take. Let us know what you think. And see us again on our next video. And if you made it this far, thank you so, so much. We really appreciate all your support. And again, when you see a movie, check it out in the cinemas. All right? Peace.
This.